It's better at being money than Bitcoin is.
So Litecoin is an alternative currency to Bitcoin. It's very commonly known as silver to Bitcoin's gold. So if Bitcoin is like gold, Litecoin is like the silver equivalent of that. I designed it to complement gold. It has more coins and faster transactions. So Bitcoin transactions are about on average 10 minutes each for each block. Litecoin is about 2.5 minutes. So it's 4 times faster.
Significantly faster.
Yeah, I designed it to be kind of more lightweight, more easy to use. It will have lower fees. So kind of like similar to how gold is more like a store of value and silver is more like an everyday currency. This is what I was trying to do.
Litecoin is a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency that was created by Charlie Lee back in 2011 as a fork to the Bitcoin Core client. It's still inspired by and technically very similar to Bitcoin, the first ever cryptocurrency, but there are some key differences that differentiate it from its predecessor. As for my own personal experience with this cryptocurrency, I have to say that for the longest time, I completely slept on Litecoin. I think I mentioned in a previous video about how I only really perceived it to be a kind of crash test dummy for Bitcoin. But after I started seeing it get discussed more and more on various forums, and after I did a bit more research myself, it was like a switch just went off in my brain. And I made a video a couple of weeks ago about how I think that Litecoin is actually going to do very, very well over the coming weeks and months.
So, Litecoin is another decentralized cryptocurrency, which means there is no set place that this stuff is made. It is created by something called proof of work, which is pretty much when transactions happen on the network, other computers see these transactions, they perform calculations to verify these things, and at the end of it they are awarded Litecoin. It's kind of the same with Bitcoin, where Bitcoin has 21 million coins that will ever be created. Litecoin has 84 million, so there are 4 times as many. Part of Litecoin's popularity is that it's a fork of the original Bitcoin blockchain, which means pretty much this is the blockchain and a fork happens, pretty much they kind of split apart. So it's written off the original Bitcoin code, so they are very similar. It was created after Bitcoin, obviously, and they implemented new things which actually make it a little bit better.
Litecoin has officially locked in segregated witness SegWit in order to scale forward. We all know that Bitcoin has been looking at that as one of the most promising solutions and the solution that seems most likely to be approved moving forward. And segregated witness will allow Bitcoin and Litecoin, which right now just locked it in for activation, to scale more, to be more robust, to stop certain flaws that could have been exploited, such as malleability situation, which I talked about in the past. Make sure you look that up if you're interested. It's almost like SegWit being passed on Litecoin was a test run for Bitcoin. I mentioned it before. However, the fact that Litecoin has done it first has many eyes looking at Litecoin. Many have referred to Litecoin as the silver to Bitcoin's gold. It's got quicker block times and it's robust in that way. They started signaling support for SegWit. They needed to get 75% support of the last blocks for miners to be signaling that, yeah, we do want SegWit to happen. And they had to do that for 2 weeks. Once they locked in over 75% of the last blocks, they had to have it going for 2 weeks. And I'm happy to say that today, they have succeeded in running it for 2 weeks. So it's locked in. Activation will occur 2 weeks from that point, and SegWit will be running.
The reason I like Litecoin so much is what is happening to Bitcoin. Those of you who've heard Roger Vere's latest discussion with V, Roger doesn't mention Litecoin, I think for a reason. I think Litecoin is the closest competitor to what he's really going for, which is Bitcoin Cash.
Litecoin is one of the alternative currencies to Bitcoin. It's been around for 6 years now. So Bitcoin Cash, or Bcash I like to call it, is kind of just spinning off of Bitcoin right now. So it's basically creating another alternative currency, and it will compete with all the other alternative currencies out there. So I don't see it really as a threat to Litecoin, and it's causing more confusion for Bitcoin than anything. When I created Litecoin, I wanted to create something that complements Bitcoin. So just as in old days where people use gold and silver as currency, in this future where cryptocurrency will be used, people will use Bitcoin and Litecoin as money, just like they use gold and silver as money. So the reason why people use Litecoin over Bitcoin for everyday purchases is because the transaction fees are lower and it's also a faster payment network. So Bitcoin being the most decentralized and secure currency out there will have higher transaction fees. And if banks want to send millions of dollars to each other, then they will use Bitcoin. Or if you want to buy a house or even a car, you will use Bitcoin. But if you want to like buy a meal or spend everyday cash, you would choose something like Litecoin.
Litecoin?
Litecoin.
Litecoin?
Litecoin.
I'm selling my house. I'm going to put it into Litecoin.